Hello, hello. Welcome back, boys and girls, friends and family, cats and dogs. Today we have a very special stream for you. We're going to talk about a unique topic, a sensitive topic, a topic that everyone thinks about, talks about, actively, daily, interacts with, but maybe is not often spoken out loud with. Mm. And before we start, I'd just like to apologize. I wonder, did you see me start stream yesterday? I clicked start streaming by pure accident. And the minute after I went to delete the 5 minute that I started, I meant to record. I was actually trying to sing and also recording for a video, but that was not meant to be live. So it'd be kind of funny if someone saw that. But anyway, I apologize. Yesterday was a false alert. And other than that, there's also an update. I'll be going on a trip next week. So you'll actually see no gaming content, but it'll be more of these PowerPoint presentations. Now, I'll try to not make it too boring, and for sure, it'll be super useful. So stay tuned for next week. Now, today's topic, we're going to be talking about money. That's right. Today's topic, the elephant in the room, that I actually was trying to not address too fast because I'm not too comfortable with talking about it, to be honest. Especially for now, starting out. And I think also growing up, maybe there's a bit of that. Not sure where it comes from. Not always comfortable talking about it. But let's dive right in. All right, here I am. As you'll see, I have a nice little bongo cat that tracks my clicking now and my keyboard taps, supposedly. Let me see. Yeah, there we go. Quite cute. Today we will just present this, so it'll be mostly keyboard clicking with my enter or spacebar. All right. The theme of the day. We're set in ancient Babylon. It's a place where you can imagine desert, you can imagine camels, and people trading in gold coins. The book of the day, The Richest Man in Babylon, Ancient Secrets of Wealth. The Richest Man in Babylon was a book written by George, I'm forgetting his last name, I think Clayson or something, and it's meant to teach timeless financial wisdom in the form of a very fun storytelling and just a easy to immerse yourself in world of ancient Babylon. Recognize this? This is directly from Aladdin. I grew up watching this show. It's amazing. I think one of the best Disney movies out there. And this just puts us in the mood, right? We're talking about palaces, we're talking about sultans, and there's also this little character here. This is lesser known. He's called Is No Good. It's a French comic strip that's popular in America. And I read this growing up and I thought it was very funny. So yeah, brings back good nostalgia. But Aladdin, I think everyone knows and could relate to. So sit back, relax. We're entering the world of deserts and camels today. Oop. All right. So the book, the premise, there's a main character who becomes wealthy. But he wasn't always wealthy. He started as a humble scribe. He had nothing to his name. He was working so hard, but wasn't making any significant money and was not becoming wealthy. He was wondering, why is he working so tirelessly? And how can he change his situation? And one day he met his mentor. And his mentor was a wealthy lander who knew a lot about how to become rich. And that's how he decided to ask for wisdom and seek advice. How did he do it? How can he improve his situation? And he has gone through the whole journey and we'll take you through it. But The point is, he did not always just follow these principles and get straight to victory. There were ups and downs. There were moments that he lost everything. When he first heard the first principle from his mentor, he started applying it right away and began to see some success. He started accumulating a bit of wealth. But then, on one of his ventures, he lost it all. And this, you can see, is Tintin, you might know, is another popular French comic strip. And they're just wandering through the desert. I was trying to illustrate how he didn't have anything anymore. Maybe he had his little companions, but financially, he made bad decisions and got him to a place that was very painful. And we're going to talk about what he learned through these lessons. He went from here to here to here, but despite all this that he lost and all the pain he's gone through, he was able to build it back up. And these are the lessons that he has learned through all this. The first one, start thy purse to fattening. Now, translated in simple modern English is pay yourself first. He learned, the very first lesson he learned from his mentor was to save 10% of his income. Whatever he earns, he set it aside for himself. Like that, he ensures that over time, his wealth is accumulating. No matter what happens to the other things, this is the first thing he did. It's like an automatic expense to save for himself. And it doesn't have to be, boy, girl. It could be the whole family, Anyone can do this. And this is the first step in fattening your purse. The second lesson he's learned is to control expenses. There's a difference between what you want and what you might need. So this fair young lady might be very attracted to the jewelry she sees on the stand, but maybe she really only needs bread and water. And as we begin to accumulate wealth, it's very easy and very tempting to spend it. And if your goal is to become wealthy, then this will be primordial, because all these temptations will come. There will be unpredictable things that happen. And if you're able to discipline yourself to control your expenses, control thy expenditures, then you shall gain much riches, my friend. Law number 3, make thy gold multiply. And by the way, I love how this book was written in laws. These are the 7 principles that the main character laid out for us. But in ancient Babylon, actually, there was a king called Hammurabi. And he was one of the kings that made the first law systems in ancient Babylon. The first kind of legal system that existed. And at the time, people were a little more savage, I'd say, because some of the laws included, if you did something wrong and you were innocent until proven guilty, but if you were guilty, certain things might involve trading pieces of your body, meaning like you would need to, if you rape someone else's daughter, you might need to give off your arm or your ears to the other party as punishment. So some things were extreme, but a lot of the basic principles of the law system, I believe today lawyers probably know about that, and a lot of the stuff might have been inspired or came from that. So yeah, there's some fun history for you. And law number 3, back to the topic of the book, is to make thy gold multiply. It is not enough to just save. Saving is not enough. If you just save and you let your money be inactive, your money that is inactive is dying money. Because, especially nowadays, inflation is always happening. And the value of your money at best will stay the same. But money has power. It has latent power. It has potential. And if you put it to work for you, and that's a popular phrase amongst probably business people nowadays, but make money work for you. If you put money to good work, you can start earning extra money with that money, such as earning interest rates. The wealthy mentor, he was a lender. He was lending out his money so that his money can generate more money for him. And so the practical lesson here is anytime you have money sitting somewhere, say in a bank account, you would want to use it in a certain way. Ideally earning interest, or you can multiply it by investing into things, either ventures, a business, other investments, real estate, etc. The point is, don't let your gold stay stagnant. Law number 4, guard thy treasure from loss. We must be careful when we have treasure. If you have nothing to lose, you have nothing to guard. But when you do accumulate some kind of wealth, you want to be wise with how you invest it. Certain ventures, if you don't know a lot about it, say like for me, for instance, I have no clue about crypto. I have very limited investments in crypto. And especially, I hear it's volatile and a lot of things are unpredictable. This is like one extreme example of, say, like some business that you don't fully understand and you invest yourself in it because someone told you it was good. And that's actually exactly what happened to the character in the book. He partnered with this jewelry salesman who promised him a successful jewelry business. And our poor main character friend, he has invested his entire savings into the jewelry to find out that he actually got scammed. The person knew nothing about jewelry and the person just left after taking his money. So be careful who you associate with in business and be careful what businesses you invest in because that can generate major losses and huge setbacks. Again, it is not the end because you can always build it back up. But if you begin with a knowledge first approach, understanding what you're getting into first, then you more easily decrease your risks. Now we jump to number 7, as you'll see, because I believe it's relevant. The next logical question would be, how do you earn more? How do you increase thy ability to earn? One of the ways is to increase your knowledge. If you know more about something, you're able to use it to gain more. And knowledge is often related to skill. The more you know something, now do you see this? Okay, all good. The more you know okay, it's a little cut off actually. Let me see if I can readjust my screen. Okay, that's better. So here you'll see the little guy is investing into his skills. He's putting money into, say, like he's buying it from this merchant here. A precious scroll of knowledge. In nowadays terms, it could be books or it could be someone who has done the thing that you want to do and is teaching it in the form of an electronic book or a video lesson, whatever it may be. Find a way to increase your ability to earn. If you're earning a set income, how can you negotiate a higher income? If you're not earning the amount that you want, what other avenues can you do to increase that? What is something valuable for society and for people and for the marketplace that will pay you the amount that you want to earn? And oftentimes that has nothing to do with your value as a person, even your competence, because that's temporary, right? If you don't know something, it's because you're not skilled at it yet. But if you learn and you fail and you learn from mistakes and you continue to learn and improve, eventually you can get good enough at that skill that people will want to pay you for it. but it has to be something that people need and or really want. So this is continuous, by the way. This is continuous learning to increase your ability. Back to 5. Make of thy dwelling a profitable investment. The book shares how you ought not to perpetually pay rent. Eventually, you want to own your home. So, preaching about real estate, I guess, in a way. If you own a home, you're building equity. You're paying your, say, like your mortgage is akin to like a rent, but you're building something of value that will belong to you. And now in America, a lot of the ideology of the American dream is owning a home. But a step further than that, you can own multiple homes and even for your own home, it can be something that's more profitable, something that generates income. Say if you just get a 1 unit home, you might need to, you're living in it, you need to pay everything by yourself. But if you have some other tenants, they might be able to help you pay off your mortgage. Now, to the tenants themselves, they would need to strive also to own their own home as soon as possible, ideally. But that's not everyone's situation, nor everyone's desire. But if you want to become wealthy, owning your own home is one good part of it. And it doesn't have to be home necessarily. We're talking about ownership here. And ownership is relevant for business also. You do not get rich as an employee. Let me dispel you right now. You will never get rich as an employee. Now, there might be some exceptions, but for the most part, wealth comes from ownership. Number 6, ensure a future income. If you're able to build your wealth, then you want to think about what's the next step. I got my day-to-day covered, I got my future covered, but what about the people around me and their futures? What if you have a family? The book basically wants to think long-term, wants you to think long-term about not just how you can build wealth, but how can you secure that for your entire family in the future. And again, what if you lost it all? This is a book by Arthur Miller, Death of a Salesman. Talks about the story of Willie Loman. He was a salesman, and yeah, life was just hard, He's trying his best to achieve the American dream. And at some point, he loses everything. And even then, we must not give up. That is not the end. Oftentimes, these setbacks, these failures are mandatory in order for you to learn a lesson and propel you towards success. And we're back to this lesson again of increasing your ability to earn, but more specifically, to continuously learn, to keep learning and acquire new skills, even if you lose it all. If your skills are always improving and you're always acquiring new skills, then you'll be able to earn it back. There's no fear of or insecurity there. And though I'm not wealthy myself, I have known many, or I know many of these wealthy people. And something in common you'll hear is that they're not afraid of losing everything because they had the skills to build it back up. And that really shows you something, Yes, of course, there's a factor of luck, circumstance, hard work, dedication, vision, and a bunch of things. But a core belief that wealthy people have would be to would be if you have the necessary skills, you can achieve the desired results. So this is continuous. You can keep learning, you can keep acquiring skills, and then you continue to grow your wealth. And this is pretty interesting graphic where he's he sowed a seed, he watered it, and it became a money tree, or a money plant, I guess, or a gold coin plant. And this is similar to a lot of things that you do. You might be putting effort, you see nothing, but you water it and you sow the seeds, and day after day you keep on laboring. As long as you're doing the right thing, eventually you're going to build something in the long term, and it's going to become your gold coin plant or money tree, your gold coin eucalyptus. All right. So to conclude today, Richest Man in Babylon. You don't have to be old. You can be as young as this young fella here who earned his first gold coin. Look how happy he is. And wealth is not secluded to, well, let me say this. It also highly depends on where you are located. This is a privilege that I think a lot of developed countries have, and countries with pretty stable politics and with peace, and but if you have a dream, it is not unfathomable to move locations also. If your current situation doesn't allow you to live the dream life that you want, and now you have to believe that this is possible, but if you really and truly want that, why not look into what are the avenues that can allow you to either relocate or build wealth where you're at? And this is not for everyone. I realize this message is not for everyone. I think you have to be ready for it in a way. Personally, I didn't think about money until very, very late. I didn't even know we lived in a capitalistic society until late high school or university. After I learned about all the different societal structures that there were, like socialism, communism, capitalism, etc. And I think there's merit in each of them. Now, they're not, I don't vouch for any of them necessarily, but because I don't know that much about them. But capitalism, that I know decently about. And I think, I mean, just look at America. Isn't capitalism a great system in a way? Like, you're able to earn your keep. Your gold coin, you can't earn it. It's not something that will be freely given and easy necessarily, but you have a chance and opportunity to do that. Many people that come from other countries and move to America, for example, they really value the opportunity they get. I often talk to, for example, Uber drivers or people who work super hard, and they're just telling me what they're doing here. They're here for a purpose. They're here to earn money and send it back to their home country for their family. And they're really grateful and appreciative of all the opportunities. They work super hard for it. Working a normal job plus doing Uber on the side, that's not an easy thing to do. And I have tremendous amount of respect for, I remember one specific Uber driver who did that, and he was working like anywhere, I forgot the exact number, but it was definitely over like 80 hours a week. Now, on this channel, we also promote wellness of individuals. We do hope you take good care of yourself and prioritize your health first and foremost. But then again, there's something to be said about diligence and the ability to take advantage of the systems and opportunities that are available here. So yeah, I hope this was useful, inspirational, helpful. This is only the foundation. These are the basics. You probably heard many of these before. Next week, I'll be actually going to a business conference, and I'm hoping to learn some really interesting things that I'll be able to share with you. And these will be more advanced things, things that I personally did not experience myself, but other people have and have gotten success from it. So you can take everything I say with a grain of salt, but these are timeless principles. Like if you apply these and consistently and diligently in like 5 years, now you might hate me now for uh for needing to, for example, heed the advice of not indulging into expensive non-necessities. For example, like well, you know what I'm talking about. Then, but in 5 years, you'll be very thankful of yourself that you've set aside the goal to start saving seriously and starting investing your money and putting and saving doesn't necessarily mean like holding onto your money tightly for everything, you know. Sometimes it's important to also just give money, you know, for your own perception of yourself, that you're not someone who's just like hoarding money and like super cheap and not able to earn it again. The important thing is to know that it's abundant out there, be careful about it, but ultimately, again, applying all these principles, including increasing your ability to earn. So, yeah, that's about it. I'd like to thank you very much for your attention. Again, my few, actually, or single, loyal viewer. And I wish all my audience, if you're catching this later, lots of peace, success, health, fulfillment, and happy relationships. If you enjoyed, you can always find me here on Twitch, or you'll see some of my videos on YouTube. And if you have any questions, feel free to message me or comment in my videos. I'll make sure to reply to you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, and see you next week for more of these presentations. Again, I will, let me change scene. Where am I? Oh. Boop. Again, I will not be available for gaming next week, but Thursday, if you're available Thursday around 7 p.m., I'll be doing my first collab with some other streamers to play some games for fun. And then after that, next week it's going to be all business. And sadly, no games yet. But stay with me, because in September, mid-September, I'm coming back September, I think 13th, 14th, September 15th on Monday, we're going to be playing the most anticipated game of the year, at least for me. Borderlands 4. It's coming out. I'm so excited. It's so cool. So, yep, looking super forward to that, and see you next time. Bye-bye.